Hey everyone, so this is my first video here on YouTube, and long story short, I am a huge Yaoi fangirl and I wanted to make videos to help my other fellow Fujoshi find anime, manga, games, anything else Yaoi related. So, before we get into the video, here are some things to keep in mind. First of all, due to the sad shortage of yaoi anime, you may have already seen some of these, and I really wish I could recommend an anime that you haven't seen yet, but like I said, there isn't much out there, so unfortunately, it'll probably happen. But if you haven't seen these, that's great and you're in for a treat. Also, I'll leave links in the description to the OVA or the first episode of the anime I talk about, so if you want to start watching, check there. Also, this is a yaoi anime list, meaning in order to qualify, it's got to have some definite boy going on, like heavier, more smutty stuff. I'll make a shounen-ai anime list, aka more sweeter, more romantic, softcore stuff in the future though. So, without further ado, here's my top 5 list of my favorite yaoi anime. 5. Maiden Rose. This OVA looks beautiful and has beautiful music, and its main character, Taki Raisin, is one of my absolute favorite uke. Its seme, Claus, is Taki's knight in shining armor and has devoted his life to Taki. The two, at first, are the type of couple you think of when you think of a fairy tale, a prince-like figure and a strong knight. However, despite all this, the reason Maiden Rose is so high on this list is because the OVA isn't nearly as great as the manga it originates from. But what's wrong with the OVA then? It unfortunately focuses on the bad times between Claus and Taki instead of the rest of their relationship. Claus takes Taki against his will twice throughout the OVA, and the OVA doesn't account for any of the time Claus spent trying to rekindle his relationship with Taki, nor does it discuss Taki trying to trust Claus again, or any kind of actual character development or development in general. The manga covers this and executes it very well, and it's really a shame such beautiful animation in the OVA was wasted on the bad scenes. So, while the OVA can be enjoyed, it's best to understand it first reading the manga, since Claus will just come off as an abusive, selfish jerk that you want Taki to escape from. So, I recommend it, but please be mindful of its content and try to read the manga first to better understand it. Even though the OVA ends on a sweet, light note and Claus and Taki make up, it's just plain sad and unrealistic unless you read the manga first and therefore know what's going on. I still recommend the OVA, but like I said, make sure you've explored the manga first and then follow up with the OVA. It'll come off as a lot better then. Don't worry though, there's a second part to the OVA that's complete and absolute fluff. It involves Taki and Claus as a chibi cat and wolf respectively, and it's both hilarious and adorable. So if you're not wanting to see the first part of the OVA just yet while you read the manga, the second part is still utterly perfect and worth a look. Number 4. Gravitation. Gravitation is a funny anime series that was based off a popular yaoi manga known by the same title. It's about Shuichi Shindo, a young guy who wants to make it big in the music industry and capture the heart of his favorite author Yuki at the same time. Only problem is Yuki's not a big fan of Shuichi at first, so it's pretty much just Shuichi who does the chasing at first. But once these two get together, they become this adorable dorky couple that's hilarious and sweet to watch. There isn't much going on in the yaoi department, meaning like smut scenes, but the kisses and cute dialogue between Shuichi and Yuki makes up for it. And Shuichi actually sings, as in he has actual songs he sings throughout the anime, and a lot of them are available to listen to on YouTube, so you can go check those out if you'd like. The anime, of course, has its angsty moments, especially towards the end, but it's overall a fun pastime and definitely something you should check out if you haven't already. If you're into more tame or funny yaoi anime, then this one is definitely for you. Number 3. Togainu no Chi. Togainu no Chi is a more serious anime series based off of a visual novel known by the same title. It's about a young man named Akira who's forced to participate in a deadly game called Agura, which is Russian for game, in a post-apocalyptic Japan in exchange for being freed from prison after he's accused of a crime he didn't commit. In order to escape prison, he has to beat the strongest Agura competitor. In this case, it's this guy named Shiki who loves messing around with Akira. In the game, just like in any traditional yaoi visual novel, you can choose who Akira ends up with, as well as having the pleasure of witnessing beautiful yaoi smut scenes. In the anime, however, it's less smut and more action-focused plot, which is still surprisingly entertaining to watch. Akira is definitely not your stereotypical average uke either. He fights back and is willing to protect himself and others, which makes him all the more lovable. And don't worry, there are still lovable seme and awesome yaoi scenes to enjoy, as well as awesome background characters and nice animation. I recommend Togainu no Chi, both the game and the anime, because it's really underrated in my opinion. Despite not being explicit as its original form in that of the game, it's still a lovely and exciting experience, especially if you like action and yaoi combined. Number 2. Viewfinder. The Viewfinder series is one of the most, if not the most popular yaoi manga out there, and this OVA is the animated version of the first couple chapters of it. It's an exciting story based around Takaba Akihito, a 21-year-old photographer who takes pictures of criminals and their crimes and then turns them in using that evidence. He tries to take a picture of Asami Ryuichi, Japan's most notorious Yakuza leader, and gets captured by him in the process. Stuff goes on from there, and Akihito and Asami proceed to get tangled up with each other in a life of crime. The reason I love this OVA so much is because it's literally the perfect introduction to the manga, which, trust me, you'll want to read after watching. It's exciting, tense, and leaves on a cliffhanger that makes you want more of the super awesome story. And don't get me started on the extremely steamy scenes in it. In fact, it's the most explicit anime on this list, so if you're looking for smut, you found it here. Akihito, the uke of the story, is one of my absolute favorite uke. Top 5, to be honest. He's funny, strong, but expresses human emotion without being whiny or clingy like many other uke. He's also more realistic in that he has his faults, such as being impulsive or too stubborn. Asami, the seme, is pretty much what you'd expect a Yakuza leader in a yaoi anime to be like. Serious but with a playful side he reserves for Akihito, stunningly handsome, possessive, and very clever. Overall, this OVA is one of my absolute favorites, and I really recommend you check it out. And after you finish watching, please read the manga, it's even better. Number 1 is the tie between Junjo Romantica and Sekaiichi Hatsukoi. So I'm sure you're familiar with these anime since they're probably the most well-known yaoi anime out there. But if you aren't and you're new to the whole fujoshi thing, then Junjo and Sekaiichi are definitely the two you should check out first. Why? Because they're the perfect balance of yaoi goodness. 3 different pairings in each anime, so you're bound to find a couple you like. Many steamy scenes that don't quite reach explicit levels but are still lovely, adorable uke and lovely semes, and a clean slice of life plot that's perfect for the fujoshi that just wants to indulge in the yaoi without having plot as a distraction. Junjo Romantica is my first ever yaoi anime, and is definitely my favorite one out there. And while I discovered Sekaiichi Hatsukoi a bit later, it's also my favorite. Both are really good anime with pretty animation, funny and/or romantic dialogue, and cute couples. Some argue that these two are really overrated, but in my opinion they're fine and deserve the love they get. While Junjo and Sekaiichi don't involve as much plot as, say, Viewfinder or Togainu no Chi, it's not meant to, and is instead meant to be an adorable slice of life rom-com purely for fujoshi enjoyment. But if you're wondering which one to watch first, I'd recommend Junjo Romantica, as the yaoi action starts right away, whereas with Sekaiichi Hatsukoi, things take a little more time to build up. To quickly explain each anime's plot, Junjo Romantica's main couple is Misaki Takahashi and Asami Akihito, who is lovingly dubbed Usagi by Misaki. Usagi is Japanese for bunny. Misaki's older brother, Takahiro, hooks Misaki up with a really smart friend of his, Usagi, so Misaki can get into his dream college. However, Usagi is a huge perv, and Misaki rather comically rejects his advances while wondering whether or not he's truly fallen in love with Usagi. Its secondary couple is Hiroki Kaimijo and Naoki Kusama, a stubborn but shy college professor and a sweet, adorably blunt young man. Its third and final couple is Shinobu Takatsuki and Yu Miyagi, a bold but secretly shy, insecure high school student and an equally blunt, seemingly uncaring literature professor. My favorite couple is probably Misaki and Usagi, but due to how realistic and sweet they are, Hiroki and Naoki are definitely a very close second. Sekaiichi Hatsukoi's main couple is Onodera Ritsu and Masamune Takano. Ritsu is a shoujo manga editor who's with Takano in the past during high school. The two broke up due to a misunderstanding but meet again since they both work at the same publishing company, and Takano is determined to get Ritsu back, but Ritsu is skeptical of Takano's intentions and is afraid of being hurt again. Its secondary couple is Chiaki Yoshino and Yoshiyuki Hattori, a hardworking and sweet mangaka, manga writer, and devoted, loyal manga assistant. Its third and final couple is Shota Kisa and Ko Yukina, a cheery but lonely or sad manga editor and a young, loving clerk who works at a bookstore. My favorite couple would have to be Kisa and Yukina, to be honest. They're realistic while being super sweet and relatable. But I also adore Ritsu and Takami. So this marks the end of my list. Hopefully this list has either helped you find some new anime, perhaps rewatch some of these anime, or check out the manga or game these anime are based off of. Remember, links to the manga versions, first episodes of each anime, and so on are in the description. I hope you enjoyed, everyone. Jamata ni! This is Xan-chan signing out.